Hello, everybody. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy May 5th to you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. My gosh, the weather has been absolutely beautiful today for us. I think it was in the 80s. The sun was out. It was a great day. And I did my best to enjoy every second of it that I could while I wasn't working. So I hope that you were able to get out and just get some sun, get some vitamin D, and just enjoy the day. I was just sitting here thinking as I was waiting for the top of the hour how, I tend to sit here in my home office and I can just literally work like several hours through without getting up or without taking a break or taking a walk and getting some air. And that actually is not a good idea. So we all know we got to take breaks, we got to get up, we got to stretch our legs and walk and do what we need to do just to not only keep our mind flowing, but also our bodies flowing. It just helps to just go out and take a walk. And if you're stuck on something and you're just trying to figure out you know, how to go to the next step with it or a project that you're stuck on, or even if it's AI and you're trying to figure something out, I highly recommend that you just get up from that seat and take a walk. So, with that being said, I know it's nice outside. So, I just want to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day. I'm not going to keep you long. There's just a couple things that I want to go over, but I also just want to check in and see how everybody's doing. Hey, Sister Brenda, I appreciate you for joining. Good evening to you. It's been about, gosh, a couple weeks since we've been on live. Myself, and I have been on live, and there's been a lot going on in the AI world and just the world in general. So I like to just kind of take a step back and a reset. I have a couple of tips that I want to give to you today in the spirit of Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. I have 5 AI tips that I'm going to give you. And actually, with each episode of Smart Moves with AI, I'm going to make it my mission to not only give you good information, but also to give you some useful tips that you can take from here and go on out and use. Hopefully, they will be impactful, something that you can just take away and use in your life, in your business, for work. It's a lot going on. So I also want to just bring you up to speed. So when we first kicked this off a couple weeks ago, we were under Real Talk Chronicles. We still kind of are. That's my husband, Bill Foster's podcast, which I absolutely adore. But in the spirit of AI and talking about smart moves with AI, we have our very own channel now. So the sister channel to Real Talk Chronicles is Smart Moves with AI, and I am extremely excited about it. So I've had people reach out to me and just send their congratulations. And I truly, truly appreciate that. I really do. This is something that I've thought about doing for quite some time, actually, since I stepped into the AI space. And, I'm always just trying to think about ways to get the information out because it's one thing to just talk on the phone and send a text message to someone or, you pass them in the street or at a restaurant and, have a quick chit chat. But I wanted this to be our own private space that we can share information. Tell me what you're feeling, what you've been dealing with, AI related, technology related. And let's see if we can work together to, make some progress and get you moving forward. I know there is a lot of information that's out there, and I'll be to tell you, I'm the first to, I watch YouTube, I sign up for different courses, I do a lot to keep the learning process going because it's ever changing. So if someone tells you, oh, if you learned that about a year or so ago, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. I would have to tell you, I don't know. I think that it's an ongoing process. It's something that you need to pick up. So one thing that's interesting about AI is you may or may not have heard people say, it's a lot and you have to be technical. You have to be, my background is a technology background. I have, a degree in technology. But when I tell you, when I started embracing AI last year, I was not putting my technology skills to use. It was more so learning about a different program, a different process. Um, and it was as simple as just talk to it, right? So people will hear me say, if you don't feel like typing, you can just talk to it. Go ahead and talk to it. The same thing applies for all of these programs. And trust me, it works. It works. So I am using AI, and I just want to share with you how I'm using it. And Nita, my sister Nita, is on as well. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. I appreciate the congratulations. Thank you. So a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into this, and I definitely appreciate the kind words. So I will tell you, I think it was like the end of the summer last year, and I was, I've actually been curious about AI for quite some time. And, my job changed where, I think it was in August. So I've been an independent contractor, independent consultant since the pandemic. So I've worked from home since then. And I started to notice a shift in just the way the world is and in terms of job security. And I'm always trying to think, what do I need to do to increase my skill set so that I can make myself more marketable? So I've been told, oh, your resume looks great, have great experience, but it was at that point 2025, and I'm looking ahead and looking at the different changes that have been taking place in the technology field, also, but just also in the world. And AI was a big part of that. So it's actually been around for a very long time. It's not new. It seems like it's new because we're hearing about it a whole lot more, but it's actually been around for quite some time. So went on ahead and stepped out and said, okay, it's time to open a book or start something new so that I can make myself more marketable. And there were a lot of late nights, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of just taking walks, like I said, and sitting with the material. But I was determined because, and it's a good thing I did start the program, because in August of 2025, the project that I had been working on for about a year and a half ended. The manager was great. He wanted to keep me on board, but their budget ran low and there were changes, in the program that were taking place. And all of a sudden I was out of work. So for me, it's like, okay, what's next? What do I need to do? Don't go into panic mode, right? Because it's nice to get a paycheck every 2 weeks. And trust me, I miss it. But I had to really just take a step back and say, okay, Malika, you've been an instructional designer, creating training programs for companies for all these years. Maybe it's time to just shift my focus a little bit more. And when I tell you, I didn't make that decision in a split second. So I don't want to come off as, oh, this is something that just came to me, one night, and I woke up the next day. No, I sat with it for a little bit. I sat with it, I prayed on it, and I also did my research just to see, if this would be a good direction for me to take. And also my curiosity. So I had a lot of interest in it from what I had been reading and seeing. And I just, at that point, went on ahead and dove right on in. And I'm so glad I did. So let's talk about jobs, right? And job security. I just mentioned to you, my job ended, everything was all good, but things changed. The work ran out, the project, the budget, whatever it was, it ended. And I found myself looking for work and also signing up for a new program so I can increase my skill set. We have all heard the number that last year, over 300,000 women of color lost their jobs for different reasons. And bring that up to this past weekend. What is it? Spirit Airlines, I think it's something around 17,000 people just in one day lost their jobs. And there's a lot of different stories in between about people instantly being out of work from different companies for different reasons. I bring that up not to say that AI is the reason, for these. There's different reasons. The economy is crappy. And so there's different reasons that people are out of work or, the nature of their role is changing. And for that, I think it's imperative that we just take a look inside at our skill set and also look around and start talking to people to see, what is it that we can do to make ourselves more marketable. Because at the end of the day, we all have bills. We all have to keep a roof over our head, and we all need to eat, right? Some of us have children. I have pets. They're my fur babies. So, there's different responsibilities that we have. And at the root of it is being able to afford and cover, our income. So, those are just some things that I, took an honest assessment with myself and just said, okay, what is it that I need to do to, make myself a little bit more marketable? If anybody out there who's listening can relate to anything I just said to you in the past few minutes, please let me know in the comments. Either yourself, you were let go, you were out of work, or, your job role has changed, or maybe it's somebody in your family or friend, somebody that, talk to me. I want to know, like, were you affected by that last year? What took place? So, there's different reasons. You have to excuse the noise if you can hear it, but there's different reasons that people decide to, change their job, and also there's sorry about that. My dogs always want to come in, and that's no bueno today. They have to stay outside the room. So there's different reasons that we have to just take another look at our skill set and what it is that we can do to make us more marketable. And when I tell you, myself and my peers, we are very determined to not only, take information that we've learned in our certification program, right? We're certified AI consultants. And we're not just using it for ourselves, but we're on a mission to spread the word, to teach people how to use AI responsibly. Because there's a lot of crap that's out here, right? There's a lot of people who are out here doing things, that they simply shouldn't be doing with AI. We see it all the time. Pictures, videos, scams. There's different things that's going on. But not going to focus on that because that gets enough attention as far as I'm concerned. We're going to talk about what do we need to do to make it useful for us and use it responsibly. So our sister Gina is on as well. Gina said her contract ended and once again learning to rebrand herself. Exactly, sis. We got to rebrand ourselves. And a lot of times people don't think of themselves as being a brand, right? We just think, oh, I'm Malika, you're Gina, that's Brenda, that's Nita. Like that's who I am, right? But it goes beyond that, right? It's about our job. It's about our education. It's about, what it is that we can do for ourselves to make ourselves more marketable. And when I tell you, remember, it's what, May 5th. I've been out of work from a regular job since August 1st of 2025. And ever since then, I've hit the ground running with, building my skill set, but also putting myself out there. So, let me just pause for 1 second because I don't want to make it seem like entrepreneurship is for everybody and that's the way to go. But I definitely encourage people to look into it, to consider it. If you have a straight 9 to 5, I think that's great. But as I've just told you my experience, my sister Gina just told you her experience, sometimes you can't necessarily rely on that solely. So I think it's great to, have something else under your belt, another skill set that you can do, whatever it is. And when I tell you the entry or the access into the AI field is very, very easy, right? Very, very easy to get into. It's right at our fingertips. So there's programs that are available like ChatGPT. That's one of the most popular programs that's out there, and you can get in for free. Now, obviously, with something that's free, there's limitations to the usage about how many whatever that you can create, every single day. But in terms of just getting in and starting to get used to it, all you have to do is start playing around with it. So if you think back in the day, like, oh, I just looked down at my phone, so I could use the phone as an example. Like I remember having a bag phone 1,000 years ago. So it was a big phone that was in a bag, and that's how we were able to communicate with a mobile phone. Now look, right? So, this is what the phone is. And some people, I don't have one, but you have the Apple Watch where, you can talk to people through the phone or even through your glasses. So there's different new technologies that have come out that many, many years ago, 20, 30, 40 years ago, we wouldn't have even imagined would have existed. And now look, we're using it. We're using them. Think about a refrigerator. There's some refrigerators, I don't have one, but there's some refrigerators that have computer technology on there where you can just click, 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 or tap, tap, tap and put in your order. It'll send it to the grocery store and they can deliver it, or you can go and pick it up just from a basic refrigerator. So again, the technology is advancing and it's impossible to honestly keep up with every single thing, right? It's impossible because there's so much that's out there. And I will tell you, I get overwhelmed, if I try to tackle some things more than I should at one time. I've seen it happen. I had someone reach out to me yesterday on WhatsApp, and she was interested in a particular subset of AI. And I told her, that's not something that I'm dealing with at this time. I put it off to the side and I'm going to, pick it up and learn it at a later date, because I'm staying focused as to what it is that I want to learn and also service the needs of my clients now. So, this is some things that want people to be mindful of. It's so easy to say, oh yeah, I want to learn that. I want to learn that. I want to like the list is long. There's actually thousands of AI programs that are out there. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but there's no way on earth I can learn thousands or even want to learn, right? Don't have a need for learning that many programs. So, to each his own if that's what somebody does. Paying mind to it all. Yep, expand on that, Luis, just a little bit. But yes, got to be mindful of everything. And then Sister Brenda, she said, I'm figuring this thing out and see how I can benefit from it. See, I went ahead and paid ChatGPT because I'm using it more often. I'm so glad you said that, Brenda, because when I first started using ChatGPT, I too was using the free version, just like some other programs. And I used it for a while. I wish I could remember like how long I actually used the free version, but it wasn't that long because just like you, Brenda, I found myself using it more and more and more. So think about how, a lot of us will say, oh, just Google it, go to Google and Google it. Take a look at how often you're Googling things now compared to how often you're using ChatGPT, right? I've heard some people say that they're actually using ChatGPT now more than they're using Google, for searching, for looking things up, for getting advice on certain things. So I know I am using all the programs. I still use Google, quite a bit, but ChatGPT is definitely, definitely my friend. Exactly, definitely my friend. So Luis says, I don't know which to trust in terms of the different programs. It's a lot that's out here. And, my advice, honestly, is to just kind of take it one step at a time, one program at a time. Start with the ones that you know. Like I use ChatGPT as an example because it's been around, it's popular. There's Claude, there's Gemini, there's Copilot, there's a lot, and all of those come from trustworthy sources. So you're good there. But Luis, I'm going to pause for 1 second because let's think about it. I just told you a few minutes ago that there are thousands of AI programs that exist out there. There's thousands of them, right? And we all just hear the popular ones. That's what we're dealing with. But I have to ask you, just like I'm going to ask everybody out there that's watching and listening, what do you need to use it for? And you've heard me talk about this. We have an AI community, a school community that we meet twice a month and we talk about all things AI. And that's something that I always push to the members of my community is what do you need to use AI for? Think about it. Think about it. because it's easy to just jump right in, right? I mentioned like 4 or 5 different programs already. And it's like, okay, yeah, I know this one, I know that one. But what are you using it for? Not just Louise, but everybody. So I think the need actually determines what tool that you're going to use. And that helps build trust and confidence in it, right? That helps build trust and confidence in it. So if you have, let's just say that you have a business and you have some clients that, really interested and you want to put a proposal together for them, right? That's your need. You need to create a proposal for the client. So you can use an AI tool or an AI program so that you can create the proposal for them. My sister Dee is on here. She just said marketing. Absolutely. So Deidre owns 2 restaurants, not just one, 2 restaurants. She's one woman. She has employees. What does she need to do to get the word out about her restaurants? She needs to market them. So she's managing her employees, she's creating the menus, she's cooking. I'm sure the list is even a lot longer than that. But she also, oh, and she does catering. She does outside catering for Duke's Cafe, but she also has to market her business. So she's one woman, she's one person. So before, back in the day, before AI was around, we would try and do all this, ourselves. And I know we're super women. We still try to do all of this ourselves, but we don't have to, right? We can rely on AI to help us with our content and our marketing so that it'll get the word out there. And the key is to have a system in place, right? To have a system in place so that it's working for us 24/7. No matter what your business is, no matter what your organization is, no matter what your job is, right? There are certain things that have to keep moving even while we're asleep. So those are some things that can be done. I want to keep up with the comments here. So Sister Gina said, focus, practice, master, and feel comfortable before you move on to the next step. I love that. I love that, Gina. You got to focus, right? Otherwise you'll be looking all over it. I'll tell you, I was so guilty of that last year where, I wanted to learn this one, that one, this one. And I had to stop myself, right? Because I also not only was, just signing up for these free trials, then I started signing up for the subscriptions. And next thing I know, I'm like subscribed to 5, 6, 7 different things. That adds up. Remember, I was just getting my consulting business revamped so that I can, start getting more clients. That adds up. So I had to pull back and say, let me only subscribe to the ones that I know that I actually need for right now, because otherwise it's going to get way too expensive. The second thing Gina mentioned is practice. Practice, practice, practice. Remember back in the day when you first learned how to ride a bicycle? I don't know about you, but I had a couple falls, or even roller skates. I'm from North Philly, and I remember falling so hard on the roller skates. It was crazy. It was crazy. But guess what? My mom told me to get up, get up, and try it again. So you have to keep practicing. And honestly, I could talk until I'm blue in the face, but the way that you really will learn anything, especially AI, is to keep using it, to keep practicing it, because you're not going to break it. And like Gina said, you're going to master it. Focus, practice, and master so that you feel comfortable before moving on to the next step. Absolutely. I love that. Let's see what else we have going on here. All right. Gina said, I use it to redo my resume just to see interesting results. I put that resume to the side for now. Gina, I'm curious to know, why did you put that to the side for now? And that's actually one of my 5 tips that I'm going to share with you in a few minutes, is that you can dump your resume in there. And I've done that with my resume. I put it in Chat GPT and I asked it to take a look at this, review it, summarize it, and let me know how I can make it better. Right? My resume is 100 years old. So obviously, things change. There's some things that needed to be revised or updated on it. And so by all means, I put it in there so it can give me some suggestions for ways to improve it. And that doesn't just go for resumes, that goes for pretty much anything. So you can put in a particular topic, or like Deirdre may ask ChatGPT, how can I increase my clients? How can I increase my sales? And what I would recommend to Deirdre or anybody else when you first start out using any of the AI programs is you want it to know who you are. You want it to know about yourself. So I just told you a few things about my good friend, right? Told you a few things about me. I also told ChatGPT and some of the other AI programs that I use about me. Like I wanted it to know, what type of job I've been working in, where I'm located, not the street, but generally, if I'm looking for clients in a particular area, I told it the degree that I have. I told it, work, what I've done. Like I said, I updated my resume and put my resume in there, attached it. So I even gave it some writing samples of my own, just so that it can get a grasp of my style and tone for how I speak and how I write. Because think about it. So I'm using ChatGPT not only for myself and my own personal life, not finances or anything like that, but just things I'm working on. I own two businesses. I have my consulting business, Design Interactions, and I also own Soft Illusions Art Gallery and Event Space. Again, just like Deirdre, I'm one person and those have to keep moving. So I'm building a system or a schedule for myself so that I can continue to market my businesses, no matter if I'm sitting here at the computer or I'm outside in the backyard, because that's extremely important. Whether you have a business or whatever it is, you want things to keep going, right? And remember, we all agreed a few minutes ago that at the end of the day, it's about income. So whether that income is coming from your 9 to 5 job or it's coming from your business, right? That's what the focus should be on. And everything that you do, everything that you say, how you present yourself, what AI is doing for you, it all should point to the same thing, right? It should all point to the same thing. So another friend here, sister friend Joy said, I'm using Copilot to help with my business plan and projections right now. What do you think about that, Joyce? How is it going for you? And I love that you're using it for that. So she's using Microsoft Copilot to help with her business plan and projections for her business. So Joyce is at the early stage of setting up her business, which is awesome. Congratulations to you, Joyce, for even taking a step to do that, right? Because it's a big decision to say, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and be a business owner. So congratulations on that. And I'm glad to see that you're using the AI tools to help you go ahead and get it started. And Joyce said, I love it. It's the best thing ever. So honestly, Joyce is right. She's a new entrepreneur. She's getting her business started. She honestly could go hire somebody to act as her business strategist and help her develop her business plan and her projection, right? That would cost, I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are, but I would imagine that that would cost a pretty penny. It's not free unless it's a family member. And even then, the family member may say, you got to pay me, right? You want me to help you set up your business plan. It's going to cost money. You got to pay me for that. So at most, I don't know if Joyce is using the free version or a subscribe version to Copilot, but the bottom line is she's getting this information for at most $20, $25 a month. And that's not just for the business plan. That's not just for the projections, right? She's getting a lot of information out of there for pennies, for pennies. You're welcome, Joyce. You are very welcome. So Brenda says, I was looking into putting children programs together, proposals. Those are good uses for the AI tool. Absolutely. Children's programs and proposals. So one thing I would tell you, Brenda, is I think those are excellent topics for sure. When you get started with putting, that into, and I'm just going to use ChatGPT or I'll say the AI, when you start putting these ideas in, one thing I want you to remember is you have to be very specific. You got to be very specific. with what you're asked. And same with Joyce for setting up her business. Because if Joyce were to just go on to Copilot and say, oh, I need you to help me set up my business, da 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 da, what do you think the program is going to want to know or need to know? It's going to need to know what kind of business, Joyce, right? And same with Brenda, what type of children's programs. So, you want to be very specific in your prompting. That's when it says, how can I help you? Or what are we going to do today? And you go typing away, you're prompting it. You're giving it instructions to tell the AI program what it is that you want it to do. Okay, so you want to be very specific with that. Brenda said, ChatGPT is my go-to and is very effective. Yes, ma'am. When I tell you, I have some late nights here at the computer with ChatGPT. So we are rocking and rolling. All right. So Deirdre said, that is a great suggestion. Provide the AI tool with personal demographics to help with realistic output. That's an aha moment. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is. So you give the tool information because honestly, and you may have heard this before, but I'll use ChatGPT as an example. It tends to hallucinate. Like it will sometimes make some stuff up if it doesn't know. And so you don't want it to do that because the information that you're looking to get out, you want real information, solid information. You want information that's correct. So you have to help it out, right? It's smart, but you have to help it out and say, this is the type of information that I'm looking for. Let me give you another tip on that same line. So you can type in and, or even talk to it and say, this is what I'm trying to do. I need this business plan. I need these demographics, da, 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 da. You can, at the end of writing all that, you can say, do you understand? Right? Or you can say, tell me, or you can say, ask me questions so I'll know that you understand. Or if you need more information to complete that request, ask me questions one by one. Because sometimes it'll rattle off a whole bunch of questions. It's like, oh, okay, slow down now, slow down. So you can say, ask me questions one by one. And that way you'll know for sure the AI tool understands exactly what it is that you're asking of it, and to be sure that it's going to give you the information that it is that you're looking for. How are we doing? I know we're hitting a lot of different things, and I promise you I have 5 good tips. I'm actually covering some of them already, but I'll share them with you. So Gina says, I have 5 resumes. My field is always evolving, but what I notice is AI can be recognized and I will find a way. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's interesting that you said you have 5 resumes, and I'm thinking it depends on which type of position or which type of role that you're applying for. And Gina, I think that's smart because sometimes people will just use one resume and they'll apply for different roles. However, role A may be slightly different or completely different than role B. So that one resume that person has doesn't work for, both of them. So it's good to have a different version. And again, you can ask the AI tool to rewrite my resume, rewrite this resume for this particular position. You see what I'm saying? So you're giving it your resume. This is what you're starting with, and you wanted to rewrite it so that it will be a good fit for this position over here. So that's another way that you can prompt it. All right. Joyce says it was free for a minute and it came with my new laptop, but I'm paying for it now. Yep. Smart move, Joyce. It's all about making smart moves. And that's definitely a good one. So Brenda says she's looking to write a book. Yes, that's right. You did mention that to me, Brenda. She said it's great because it asks me questions about me, etc. Yes, looking to see what type of business I can get into. So I'm researching on my go-to. Yes, absolutely. The AI can help us with all that, right? It can help us write our books, set up our businesses, any of those things that we need to do, it will definitely do it. And you got to work it. Yes, did that. And it gave me the entire layout. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Doris Brown says, when do you know when it's time to purchase a subscription of Copilot or ChatGPT? That's a great question. So there is no like cutoff, right? There was no certain date that said, okay, now I've used free enough. It's time to start paying. I just noticed what I was doing and what I was trying to use it for at that time. I was running out of credits. So when you run out of a lot of these programs are based on credits. And I'll go back for a second. So even if you subscribe, you're allotted a certain number of credits. And so, obviously when you pay for something, you're going to get a lot more versus when you just have it for free. So depending, Doris, on what you're using it for, you'll notice, it'll tell you that you've ran out of credits or you have to wait until tomorrow in order to, try to do that particular task again. So if that starts happening to you and you start getting a little frustrated, like, I'm trying to get some stuff done, that's a sign for sure that it's time to go ahead and start with a subscription to that program. So D said, Joyce, I was going to ask, is it best to use a paid version or a free version? Yep. So we were just talking about that one for sure. And Gina said, yes, the resume. I love AI. Did it for me and was a medical device sector. Yes. I think I knew more of what to ask AI. Yep. So good. Gina, when I tell you that, it was so smart that you did that. And one of our cousins actually has a resume writing company. So I'm actually interested to get her to come on and talk to me because I'm interested to see how AI, we know, right? Because we're talking about uploading our resumes here and having the AI do it. But I would think it's starting to reshape like the nature of how she does her business. And I think I'm going to ask her if she wouldn't mind joining us one day to talk about that, just to see. I'm curious because it makes me a little nervous with certain positions or roles or businesses that people have, just to see how it's starting to change. So I'll use myself as an example. I have been an instructional designer for a long time, honestly, probably over 20. I've been in the field about 30 something years. So a long time, right? Then it's evolved, right? I started out as a trainer, help desk, this and another, moved on. I know now for a fact that, let's say I had to create a course for a particular department. They have a new software rollout coming out, and I had to create a course so people could sit and, take the course on the computer. That's what I do. I would create those training courses in addition to the manuals and so forth. I know for a fact now that those courses can be created in minutes using AI. So before, depending on like how large the course was, how long the program was, it really just depends on the size, where it could take me a couple days, a week, or it could take me months to, create it, depending on how large the program was that I needed to build out. And now when it's prompted the right way, when we give the AI program the right information that we need, it can create this for you in minutes. Minutes. So remember I told you August of last year, I had to take another look and say, all right, this is what I've been doing all these years. Seeing this AI, out there, I'm going to learn how to use it. And the more I started learning it, I'm like, oh, wow, you can do that. You can do that in minutes. You don't need a degree to do that. Oh my goodness gracious. It's interesting. Well, I'll just say that it's a very, very interesting time, and it's starting to reshape how certain people do their jobs, and it's also reshaping jobs. Period, where it could actually take away someone's job. So that's why I like having these conversations, because it gets you to thinking, like, oh wow, I never would have thought about that. And Deirdre, I'm going to make you laugh if you're still on here. I recently heard, look, because I know you got the two restaurants, and I know this is not going to happen to Duke's Cafe, but I recently heard about a restaurant. I think it's in California, and the entire restaurant is being run by robots. Did anybody else hear about this? Like they're taking the orders and they're cooking food for the people. I'm like, oh no. So for me, it's kind of like, okay, just because that can be done, should it be done? Exactly. Yep. D heard about it and Joyce is surprised. Exactly. I saw that on one of the news shows. I could not believe my eyes. I couldn't believe it. And oh, I will go to Duke's Cafe. I will go to Roll House. I will go to any other restaurant before I go to a restaurant that's totally run by robots. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So D said there's a restaurant in PA too. Really? So it's not just out in California, it's out there too. Okay, so the one in PA isn't cooking, but they're serving, taking orders, etc. Yeah, yep. And I that just also reminded me what you just said about the taking orders part. I also just thought about like a lot of times when, and I'm sure it's any of these fast food, but like on the turnpike and I stop on the rest stop and stop to order something. A lot of times they have the touch screens. So that you can just they have them at Wawa too, right? You have the touch screens where you can just place your order so that, eliminated the need for someone to stand there at the counter and say, "Hi, can I help you? Can I take your order?" So it's changing in a lot of different ways. Yep, a lot of different ways it's changing for sure. And then Doris said McDonald's is trying this too. Yeah, imagine it's something that McDonald's is still in still around all the time. But I'm not talking about anybody. I'm just saying it's an interesting time indeed. So we talked about a lot. I want to show you these tips, and I'm so glad that we talked about the resume piece. Gina, I'm really glad that you brought that up because that's a biggie that's happening right now with so many people that are out of work and they need to, figure out what it is that they're going to do. And all of a sudden, and just think about it, some people haven't had to update their resume in years. And I agree, Edna, it's very sad. It's a very, very sad time. Um, because it's something that people, aren't thinking that they would have to plan for. When you're just going about your day to day life and experience, and, we're all used to, just doing certain things, just going to work. We have our same routine. You're not necessarily thinking, oh, because I'm going to be out of work, I'm going to need it because I'm not going to get a paycheck in the next week or 2 weeks, all of that's going away. We're not thinking about it like that. That's not the way it is. But nowadays, the way the world is, the way the economy is, yeah, that is something that we have to be mindful of. We definitely have to be mindful of it. Anybody have any questions for me? Feel free to ask. And I will say, this episode of our podcast, Smart Moves with AI, it was going to be on Mondays, but I switched it to Tuesday because I want to make sure that we're wide open for our schedule. So it's going to be every first and third Tuesday that I'll be here. I'm going to have different guests that's going to come on and speak with me. By all means, if any of you are interested, and coming on, even just for a chit chat, like you don't have to be an AI expert. You could talk about, how you're using it or how you see it affecting your job or your industry or your business. By all means, you're welcome to come on and sit with me and have a chat. So a couple of weeks ago, I had my peer, Farah Jean Baptiste, on, and she's a certified AI consultant like myself. And we had a great conversation just about AI and how we're using it and for our clients. We also did an in-person workshop in Harlem at Row House last month. We did it a couple weeks ago, which was awesome. It was titled ABC, AI Brunch and Connections. And so there we covered a couple different AI programs. We had a great group of ladies Brenda is actually one of the people who participated in that workshop. So it was a 4-hour workshop. Brunch was included in the middle of it. Um, great day, great event. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that. It was great. So we're actually looking at dates because we're going to do it again. And we're looking at either towards the end of June or early July. So that's going to be up in, excuse me, in Harlem for that. And then we're also going to do one in Philly at Soft Illusions. So remember, I said Soft Illusions, we have the art gallery, but we also have the event space as well. So we will have AI workshops also at Soft Illusions. And I'm proud to say, I'm actually going to push this out, the flyer out tomorrow, but you're the first to know that Saturday, May 30th, I'm going to do it at Soft Illusions in Philly. I'm going to have an in-person workshop in Philly at Soft Illusions on Saturday, May 30th. So, virtual is great, is good talking to you this way on camera. However, if you feel like, oh, I need just a little bit more, or I want that hands-on experience where you're in the room, and we're learning, you can feel free to bring your laptop with you. So you're not only watching what I'm doing, but you're also doing it yourself. You can mark that date on your calendar. So the flyer for that is actually going out tomorrow, but that is going to be Saturday, May 30th, starting at 10 o'clock. So that would be awesome. Brenda, you are definitely welcome. Keep your schedule clear. She said, I would love to attend in PA. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So yeah, it's a lot of awesome things. Wonderful. Dee said the date is marked. She needs it. I love it. So a lot of good information for you all to share, and I want to say, we've been talking about a couple different things, right? People who work 9 to 5s, which is great. And also people who have businesses already, which is great. And then like Joyce, somebody who's starting the business up. I'm here to talk to you about all of those things because I have been there and I still am in the same seat. And so anything that I can share with you or show you or teach you, I'm going to do it because I want you to be successful. That's the bottom line. Like we have to be supportive of each other so that we're successful no matter what's going on in this outside world. We have to learn how to not only support each other, but make things easier for ourselves because we all have families. We all have responsibilities. We all have laundry to do, grocery shopping, right? It's a lot of things that we have to do. So the whole point is, what can we do with AI to help us get there and not only just get there, but get there quick. I know people who are just talking about it, love them dearly. But when I say I literally just, how when somebody learning to swim and they throw them in the pool, like I threw myself in the pool, not because I just wanted to, I had to, right? I threw myself in that pool to learn AI and to learn how it can increase my skill set and make me more marketable and, develop my business out, increase my income. I stay up late. I read. I'm watching videos on YouTube. I'm conversing with people. It's just one step at a time. And this podcast, Smart Moves with AI, this is something that I dreamt about. This is something that I wrote down in my book to say, one day, this is what I'm going to do because I want to find different ways that I can share the information out there to help us lock arms and take it to the next level. It's 2026. Like we don't have time to waste. We don't have time. We got to get there and we got to do it. And we're going to do what we need to do to get there. Hey, Debbie. So Debbie Falk is actually a former student of mine. I used to teach IT courses at Community College of Philadelphia a long time ago. So it's so good to see you, Debbie. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. And then Doris says, have you considered implementing a virtual class option for individuals who have relocated outside of the New York City area? Yes, yes, and yes. So, Doris, I don't know if but I actually split my time between New York City and right outside of Philly. You might as well say Philly Philly area. So I'm between the two. And so we do the in-person workshops, but we also do virtual. So my peer, I'm calling her my partner in crime, Farah, and I were actually just talking today about putting a date on the calendar for our next workshop, which is going to be virtual. And then one that we do together after that will be in person. So I have a couple different things going, things in Philly, things in New York, and also virtual. So what I will share with you is that I have a community called Smart Moves with AI, and it's a learning community where twice a month I'm on here speaking, teaching, and the members are actually doing. So our next workshop actually is tomorrow, where I'm teaching two programs. The one I'll be able to teach all the way through because it's quick, and that's Gamma. And then the next one that I'm going to teach is Canva, Canva. So Gamma is a presentation or slide program. It's an AI program. And when I tell you, I've been creating PowerPoint decks for companies and for training for years. And ever since I learned Gamma, Gamma, ever since I've learned that, the only time I've opened up PowerPoint is to open up something that I created a long time ago. But when I do my presentations now, I'm using that program because it can help me get them done in minutes. So I'm teaching that tomorrow. And then I'm also teaching Canva and from the perspective of how do you create flyers so that you can market your business. You can market if you're a part of an organization and you have an event coming up. So there's different things that you can create. I mean, they even have templates in there that you can use, but I'm going to show you how you can use Canva to help you market those different things. And that's tomorrow. So I'll share the link for you there. And then Brenda said that she needs to do a vision board. And I'm so with you on that. So having a vision board, having your, look, we talked about to-do list earlier, but I've always loved vision boards because to me, it's, I'm a big daydreamer. I'm an only child. So I'll sit here in this room and just like, oh, la, 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 what do I want my life to look like? Or where do I see myself? What do I want to be when I grow up? Anybody else ask them that question themselves, that question? What do you want to be when you grow up? So I ask myself that all the time. So yeah. So Dee, I will send you the information for how you sign up because I think you're already a part of the AI community and it's actually on the calendar in the community. So I will definitely get that to you if you don't have it. And I'm going to share my screen in 2 seconds. Gina said, oh, I will try my best for Gamma, making PowerPoint easy and quick. Yes, it's when I tell you it's a winner. And it's not the only program that's out there. And I have to say that, excuse me, it's not the only program that's out there that you can do this, but I mean, by far, it's one of the strongest. And within a few minutes, I'm talking like less than 5 minutes, you can give it just a sentence. If you don't even have a whole outline, you can give it a sentence or a topic, and it will create a slide presentation for you in just a few short minutes. And then, of course, you go back in and tweak it. It's awesome. So you can see I'm very passionate about that, but that's something that I'm going to teach tomorrow in addition to Canva. Yep. So, and Doris, I will share the link to our community also before we hop off. So we have just a few minutes. Let me share my screen really quick. Time is going by fast. It's going by quickly. You all are wonderful. I'm enjoying the conversation with you. I am truly enjoying the conversation with you. So this is the screen I want to share. All right, great. So this actually was created in an AI, one of my favorite AI programs called Lovable. And I wanted to just be able to share the screen and show you about the 5 tips, right? So for AI, it's all about saving time, solving problems faster, boosting productivity, communicating better, getting ideas sparked. The list is long. Those are just a few of the many things that we're using. And so the first one is talking about, and I hopefully made this large enough for you to see. I will increase the size of my Zoom just a little bit more and see if that'll be good for you. So the first tip is to update and strengthen your resume with AI. That's why Gina said, you're right on target. Like that was my number one tip for anybody out here who, hasn't updated their resume in a long time, or you're thinking about updating it, things are changing at your job. You may need to start looking and see what else is out there. So you can paste your resume into the AI and tailor it for your experience to the role that you actually want, right? So you want to tell it, I am trying to get this particular position. You list out the position and say, rewrite this resume. So this is a prompt that I have for you. You can take a picture. If you're not on your phone, you can take a picture or take a screenshot of this screen, because you can put this prompt in ChatGPT or any other AI tool and attach your resume. And you can say, rewrite this resume to align with, in brackets, it says job title. So in there, you'll insert what the job title is that you're going for and highlight transferable skills. Now, this is just a very short prompt. I could have gone further with this, right? But this is something that'll help get you started. So you're telling it to rewrite your resume for that particular job. Another tip for you I wanted to share is you can practice interviews with AI and build confidence fast. So I don't know about you, but I haven't been on a regular interview in quite some time. So interviewing is a skill in and of itself. So you can actually practice with AI. You can practice with it by typing, and there's also something called voice mode where you can talk to it and have a conversation back and forth and tell it to act as a hiring manager. So this is the prompt. Take a screenshot or take a picture of my screen where you're telling the AI, act as a hiring manager and interview me for that particular job. Ask me questions and give me feedback on my answers. I don't know about you, but if I were looking for a job right now, I would do the first two steps for sure. I would have it rewrite my resume for that particular role. And then when, okay, you got an interview coming up, or even before you get the interview, I would go ahead and practice this, right? Practice your interview skills. As they say, you have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You can go ahead and use AI to help you stay ready. Tip number 3, use AI as a strategist, not just as a tool. So don't just say, write this for me, or write blah. Don't do that. You want to give AI a role. And there's not just like a random list of roles out there, right? You can just say, oh, I want you to act as my business strategist. So again, this is tip number 3. You can take a screenshot or take a picture of my screen. Act as a business strategist and help me think through whatever it is that you're trying to figure out. Joyce told us she's in the process of starting a business, right? She's going to get some proposals together, a business plan. So she can say, act as a business strategist and help me think through, or she can say, help me write my business plan. And then what did I tell you earlier? You can tell it to ask me clarifying questions first. And then I would say one at a time, because you don't want it to overload you with a whole bunch of questions. You want it to ask those questions one at a time. All right. Tip number 4, use AI for decision making. So if you're stuck on something, if you're stuck between options, and I know I get stuck on things because, I get so excited. I want to do everything at one time. You can let AI weigh the trade-offs and recommend a path forward. I did this in the AI community about a month and a half ago because, like myself, some of the members have, different businesses that they're trying to do both, trying to do this, that, and the other. We can only do one thing at a time. Or maybe if we use AI smartly, the right way, it'll help us multitask and juggle better. So here's another prompt for you. Prompt number 4, compare these 3 options. It could be 2 options. It could be 5 options, whatever it is, you fill it in. So in this example, compare these 3 options and recommend the best one based on, in brackets, my goals or constraints. Okay. That's using it for decision making And then the fifth one is to learn AI by using it daily and not studying it. So we talked about this earlier when I talked about riding a bike or, learning how to roller skate. You just got to keep practicing it. You have to do it. You don't need a course to start. Now, of course, I'm a huge advocate for a course, but until then, or in between those sessions, you can go ahead and play with it yourself. You can ask it questions, you can have it rewrite emails, you can have it generate ideas for you. So the more you use it, the more confident you will become with it. All right. I'm telling you, it it works. It works because I've done it. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. So I am going to also share another tab for you. And I just want to take a peek to make sure you see, yep, you see the right screen. So this here is another another community I was just looking at. I'm looking at a lot of different communities, but I'll make this a little bit bigger so that you can see. So this is the Smart Moves with AI school community. So this is a community that I have. You'll see our next workshop coming up is using Gamma and Canva. It's happening tomorrow. Officially start at 6 o'clock, but I'm hopping on early at between 5:30 and 5:45 for any early birds who are out there who want to start the conversation with me. I'll be available, and we're going to go until 7 o'clock. So there's different things that we have. I post regularly. This is about the podcast for today. This is about the workshop. We have a new WhatsApp group that we just started so that we can communicate with each other. I have a post out here for some AI tips, and I try to be funny, right? Because I get so excited about this stuff. So there's different things. And then we also have the calendar up top. So on the calendar, it tells us, what's coming up. So Deirdre, like I said, you can come here, click on calendar, and then click on May 6th for tomorrow for the workshop. All right. Lots going on. Lots going on. Lots going on. Let me see. Oh my goodness, you all are talking to me. I love it. Nita said, I was driving, but I will be there on the 30th. Wonderful. Thank you, Nita. Thank you. Gamma sounds like a winner in terms of PowerPoint. Yes, it does. And then, Debbie and Nita, Debbie said hi. Small world. So yeah, May 30th, from 10 to 2, we will have an in-person workshop in Philly. I'm going to send that information out. I have the flyer. Just want to add my avatar because she helps market things for me. So I'm adding her tonight. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to put it out there. So I'm going to have it on my social media. Instagram is Smart Moves AI. I'm going to have it on my Facebook page. I'm going to have it on my website, Design Interactions. I'm going to have it in the school community. I'm going to have it everywhere. And then I'm also going to put a post up here for those of you who are watching on YouTube. It'll be a post on YouTube. So it will be all around. The flyer will be there, and there will be a link that you click to register. And so remember, for this AI workshop that's happening on May 30th, we'll be together for 4 hours, but we're also going to have lunch in between. Because I don't know about you, I love to learn, I love to do all that, but I got to get my energy going as well. So lunch is provided with that. All right, so we're going to wrap up in a minute. Gina said, oh my, I have PowerPoint presentations that I will need to find them and learn this Gamma. Yes, and Gina, your PowerPoint presentations, we're not going to throw them away, right? So we're going to still keep them, but you can also import them into Gamma. I'm going to show you that tomorrow. You can import them into Gamma and convert them over to the AI program. So Edna Louise said, first time here, but I'm glad I saw you. Welcome, lady. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. Good stuff. Thank you. I appreciate you all. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much. Joy said, have fun, have to run. Thank you. This was so useful. That's wonderful. Good. I am so glad that you all have enjoyed this. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. So I know a lot of you are watching on Facebook, and I think that's wonderful. But I encourage you to also subscribe to the YouTube channel. So the YouTube is Smart Moves Dash AI. Smart Moves Dash AI. And I'm going to drop that link here in the chat for you so that you'll have it. And so I encourage you to subscribe to it so that you don't miss anything, because it's great to watch on Facebook. But when you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you know for sure that you will also be able to watch our sessions. So listen, we have a lot of good things happening. We covered a lot. I want to thank each of you for interacting, throwing out your viewpoints, telling me what you're working on. I appreciate it. You see that there's a lot that's to cover, right? We covered a lot in an hour, but there's so much more. There's so much more. So we're going to keep these podcasts going every first and third Tuesday of the month, first and third Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then we have our Smart Moves community on the school platform, SKOOL, and it's Smart Moves AI. Smart Moves AI. You don't have to remember all that. Just look me up on Instagram or look me up on Facebook, right? It's all consistent. It's my name, Malika Vaughn Foster, and it's Smart Moves AI. We have one last question coming in. So Deidre said, can I use Gamma to convert a menu to display on smart TV? Yes, ma'am, you can. And you can run it like a slideshow. So it'll present and it'll just keep running through. Gamma has awesome templates that are out there. So I know your color scheme for Duke's Cafe is the orange and gray. I can't remember if they have that exact color scheme, but we can build it so that, it'll fit your brand. And I think it would be awesome. It would be a nice addition to the cafe. Exactly. So it's all about getting that information out there and keeping the brand going. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. So look out for the information for the in-person workshop in Philly on May 30th. So I'm going to have it posted on the Soft Illusions website, on malikavaughn.com. I'm going to have it posted everywhere. On Instagram tomorrow morning. So you will be able to register. I have to tell you that it's limited seats that are available for this workshop. So, if you're thinking about it and, have to check your calendar, I get it. But, when we hit that limit, it's going to close. So I do encourage you to go ahead and sign up for that. And then, what else? We got virtual workshop coming up. We got another workshop coming up in New York this summer. So it's a lot of good things that are going on. And my word to you is just take a deep breath, because it's an exciting time. It's a lot going on, but I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, right? I really don't want you to feel nervous or scared or, oh, I'm behind. A lot of people say, I feel so behind. And, I feel behind sometimes, but I don't allow myself to sit with that, right? I just stop and think and say, okay, let me check that list again, or let me check that vision board again and see what's the next step that I need to take. The more we work together, the more we share information with each other, I think the better off we'll be. All right. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. I truly do. I will be live again in the Smart Moves YouTube channel in 2 weeks. So every first and third Tuesday. So the next time we're live on YouTube will be Tuesday, May 19th. Time is flying. And then tomorrow in the Smart Moves AI community on the school platform, we have a live workshop there as well. And that starts at 5:45 tomorrow. All right, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate it. Take care. I will see you soon.